the little girl gently moved her tiny hand. The nearly empty rice jar instantly overflowed with gleaming white rice. Then she turned the sweet potatoes in the backyard into precious medicinal herbs. But to her this was just a small trick. Next she cast a spell to restore the mind of her third sister, who had been mentally impaired for 18 years, and turned her into a sharp-tongued business genius. When she saw the gentle eldest sister being bullied, she gave her the strength and skills of a martial arts master. The little girl was actually the flower goddess in human form, but her mother died during childbirth, and the girl was abandoned in the streets by a jealous concubine. Luckily a cart puller happened to pass by. The little girl immediately saw that although he was poor, he was a truly kind soul. If he would just take her home, she could change his family's fate. Though the man felt pity, he had no means to raise a child, so he left her behind with a heavy heart. But the girl began to cry loudly. After much inner struggle, the man finally picked her up and took her home. His kind and honest wife sighed helplessly, since their rice jar had already run dry. But they didn't know, the arrival of the flower goddess was about to change their destiny. The eldest sister came over to look at the baby, wanting to stay in this family. The goddess held the sister's hand tightly, and refused to let go. So the sister decided to carry more sacks at the dock the next day. But that still couldn't feed the whole family. What they didn't know was that the little girl had overheard their conversation. With a wave of her hand, she filled the empty rice jar with sparkling white rice. Just as the family was rejoicing, a group of soldiers barged in demanding military taxes, asking for a staggering 3,000 silver dollars. The man saw that the officer was once his subordinate, so he pleaded for a few days' grace out of old loyalty. But the goddess instantly saw he was not a good man. Sure enough, the officer mocked him, and even forced him to crawl under his legs to feed his family. The man was ready to give up his dignity, but the goddess would not allow such bullying. She used her powers to punish the officer harshly. He fled in shame, but before leaving he threatened to return in 3 days. Just after he left, the foster mother collapsed with a high fever. The man wanted to get a doctor, but the eldest sister told him they had no money left. He then remembered the sweet potatoes in the backyard, so the goddess turned them all into premium medicinal herbs. Father and daughter were overjoyed, and rushed to the market to sell them, but their low prices angered other vendors, who came over to cause trouble. Seeing her sisters overwhelmed, the goddess used all her power to restore the third sister's mind. With divine help, she scolded the troublemakers until they ran off, and drew in a wave of buyers, selling all the herbs in no time. Just as they were about to leave, they ran into a notorious young master, who was instantly captivated by the third sister's beauty. He tried to take her in broad daylight. The eldest sister jumped in to protect her, but she was too weak and got shoved to the ground. Seeing her sisters in danger, the goddess cast another spell from Riswaddle, giving the eldest sister incredible strength. She swiftly defeated the young master and his men. The goddess was impressed by her bravery, but then a gust of wind suddenly covered her eyes, cutting off her magic. At the same moment, one of the thugs launched a sneak attack on the eldest sister.